Welcome to Delivering Precise and Complete Projects. In this session today, we're going to take a look at our latest product offering, 2020 CAP Complete. 2020 CAP Complete contains its own integrated CAD system, meaning you no longer need AutoCAD in order to use this application. Also included is 2020 Worksheet, as well as our visualization tool, 2020 Visual Impression. In the interest of time, I've taken liberty to set some things up ahead of time, but I wanted to be able to show you kind of the workflow between the products and a little bit about how space planning works within the tool. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this drawing aside just a little bit, give us a little area here to work with. So with 2020 CAP Complete, just as with any other Office product that is available, we distribute and update content for over 170 different furniture manufacturers. So when you're building or working in your design, you're working with intelligent objects. So every object that is placed has a part number, a part description, and a base list price, which then allows me to take it into Worksheet for pricing and for specification, and then into Worksheet or into Visual Impression. So in this example, I'm going to work with the DMO catalog. So just a couple things here. You choose your manufacturer. If there's multiple catalogs available, simply step down or step into those different catalogs. Once in the catalogs, it's just basically a table of contents. So if I'm working with something like case goods, I can bring in, let's just do a desk, and let's just do the left one here. Once I find my part number, I simply left click, hold that button down, drag, and drop. Okay. There are standards for every graphic that is made. So there's specific insertion points and there's nodes, making it very easy for you to snap furniture together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do just a quick bridge in this example just to show you. Select it, left click, there's my node, and I snap it and we're good to go. So working with case goods, benching, everything pretty easy. Everything has a node and you simply snap where that node is. If I'm working with something like, let me go back to home. If I'm working with anything like a panel system or potentially a frame and tile system, we have some tools that make that easier for you. So if I'm going to just do a standard, I'm just going to do a standard panel here right now, and I'll quickly show you how you'd throw something together. When I place that first panel, you'll notice that this little panel, it's called a panel placer tool, comes up, and it then allows me to basically do this. Really easy to put stuff together. So when I go back to my 24 to kind of finish this up, there I have it. Okay. As I said, there's nodes for everything. So I'm going to hit the drop down here and go back to systems, and let's just grab, nope, I don't want electrical. I do want a work surface. Let's just do a regular rectangular one, 24. And I need 42. Here we go. So there's my node, snap. I'm going to right click, make this really easy. And just real quickly, I want to just kind of finish this up a little bit. Go back to my work surface, and we're going to do a corner, and let's just do a curve front. Okay. Now, obviously, I could complete this with overheads, PEDs, anything that I need. The nice thing is once I place this, even with benching, case goods, whatever it is that you're using, you place it and you can copy it, you can mirror it, rotate, you can do anything basically you want with it. It will retain all the information on the graphics so that it actually will count whenever you generate the bill of materials to a worksheet. But one thing I did want to show you is that let me go to the new ribbon here. Let's go to Automation Center. We have automation for many manufacturers. Depending on what you install, you're going to see it on this list. And in order to work with that, I think right now I need to switch to the DMO catalog. So I've got Panel Builder. Panel Builder is what you use to build panel configurations for your tiles. If you're using Panel Builder, what it does is when you build those tile configurations, it actually saves it into what we call a custom catalog so that you can use those tile configurations over and over. Also, custom catalogs are used for any specials that you might want to make. Once that's created and you turn it into what we call a cap part, you are able to store that in a custom catalog and reuse parts over and over again. Or if there's something you're selling, it's not available as a manufacturer within the software, you can just make your own part. So we're going to do something here called run auto hardware. It's going to ask me to select the objects, and we're just going to window around this, and it places the connectors for me. So that's kind of on a high level what automation is. It's just to make your life a little bit easier. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. Also, as you obviously are working, you're doing everything in plan view, but you can very easily do a convert plan to 3D. So I can just select everything that I was working with. It'll convert those to 3D, and then let's just go to a view and let's see which one I can use here. Will this work? Yes. And then if I just hide this, okay, I'll quickly go back up to my view. Tags, just so you know, everything for the most part when you bring it in has a tag. If you don't like that tag, there are tagging tools that you can use to append to the tags, to change them. You have the ability to assign additional tags, I believe up to four tags. Those can be visible or not visible. They're very helpful if I want to, if I'm working in a large project and I want to separate furniture by locations, maybe for budgeting purposes and stuff, you can have all these extra tags that you have available. So as I said, it's high level, just want to make sure you understand. You can bring all the parts in, and then once you've placed all those parts and you need to generate a bill of materials from here, it's very easy. I'm going to create a worksheet file by simply clicking a button. So the workflow is they're all pretty integrated here. So I'm just going to go ahead and select next. And in this case, we're going to do all of them. And when I hit finish, here's the worksheet. So think of worksheet as just a big spreadsheet that you're going to work with. It has all the information that you need in it in order to do pricing, to create proposals for your customers. So looking at it, there's a template that comes in every time you open a worksheet. So there's certain columns that are turned on. If I just right click on one of these and go to customize columns, you can see there is a bunch of them. I can actually create my own default template. So if I go up here to apply templates and to manage templates, I can go in here and basically create a new one, name it, go in and pick all my columns. Once I do that, I simply set as default. So every time I generate a bill of materials from a drawing, those are the columns that I'm going to see. So what is some of the information that we have in this worksheet right now with the columns that appear? So if I wanted to work on finishes, that's what this little paint palette is. So if I were to click on this paint palette, I can select finishes individually for each item. And then once I do that, actually a product preview appears. But I'll show you another way to do that because this is a very large worksheet. But I also have global options. And global options allow me to go in and basically do like a global paintbrush across everything. Okay, so in a large project, this would probably be the way that we want to do it. You can actually create option groups and save those away too if you want to do that by projects and such. So that's just a little bit about global options. Now, if I want to work on options individually, I can actually turn something on called defaults. And as I go through here and actually specify finishes, if they're applicable to the next item, it's going to allow me, and in this case, I think I have 2 chairs. So if I go ahead and select next, okay, and if there are any upcharges, such as when I selected Chrome here, those upcharges would be added to your base list price. I'm just going to go ahead and select finish here. And you'll notice, as I said, if I went in and did these individually, I'm going to get the product preview. I also now have a check mark where that paint palette used to be. That check mark is your visual indicator that the product is fully specified. Now, if I want to, I can just do update preview images, and I can update all the preview images just so I can see them. Once again, it's kind of a nice visual indicator of what what is actually on that line item. So beyond going in here and just picking finishes, as I said, you're able to do all your pricing to be able to quote. So I'm going to go up here to apply templates, and I'm going to turn on my company template, and we're going to go ahead and say OK. And as you can see, immediately the worksheet changes. I like to have this one because when I want to work with pricing, I want to see all these columns. When I'm working with finishes and stuff, I may not want to see that, so I just have a different default template for that. So basic discounting in here, if I go to worksheet and apply a discount, I can do a sell minus, a sell plus. If I know my margin, I can put my margin information in here and purchase. Purchase is your discount from the manufacturer. So if I'm just going to make it 50 and 10 in this case. All right. Once I have that information in there, I say OK, then the software is going to calculate what that purchase percent actually is. Also, I can apply to all items by simply hitting OK. But if I had multiple manufacturers in here or different catalog codes within those manufacturers that might get a different discount, I can actually discount by criteria. In this case, I'm just going to do all of it. Also, within worksheet, under discounts, we have something called discount schedules. You can set up discount schedules by manufacturer, customer, however you need to do it, that instead of doing a single discount, I can actually set up discount schedules that will just apply based on the criteria that I have in here. Some other things that we have within worksheet, I can do something like insert a price adjustment. Price adjustments are either percentages or fixed amounts, basically. So they're great for installation charges, maybe design fees, any additional fees that might be associated with the project or the worksheet as a bottom line amount. So if this was going to be installation, I could just maybe do a fixed amount and let's just say, let's do that. If there was a discount, you could apply the discount, and I'm going to hit finish. And then when I scroll down, I'm going to see this at the bottom of my worksheet. And there it is. Okay. So a couple other things here, report designs. You can customize your report designs. There's quite a few standard report designs that are sent with the software, which you can go in and modify using the edit report designs. So you can go through the editing, you can apply you can put your logo in, you can set it up to pull in build to, ship to information, all those types of things. I have a couple that are already set up, but what I'm going to do in the interest of time is I'm going to flip over to a different worksheet that I have. This is actually a product that's in the that's in that drawing that we were just looking at. But I wanted something a little more concise or a little smaller for you guys to be able to see. So we're going to go ahead and close this. So if I go to report designs, as I said, these are default ones. Once you create your own, they're listed underneath the dividing line here. So let's just go ahead and look at the standard little quote that I created. And within that quote too, you can have it include finishes, not include finishes, product preview. If you want the product preview in there, you can certainly have it in there. You can also add any of your legalese or the information that are your terms and conditions. You can add all of that to your report designs. Let's go back here. I'm going to go back here to my worksheet tab because right now we're in the report tab. There's our global options, and we're going to go back to the worksheet. So once I have my design done, I'm going to take it into worksheet. put everything together, pick my finishes, do my pricing, create the actual proposal for the customer. But there's another step that I can do here. I can actually take this worksheet that was created from the drawing into our visualization tool. Now, I never promised you guys anything pretty. So, just so you know, I'm going to switch back to the drawing quickly here. This little area right here, I just did a separate worksheet for it. Like I said, just in the interest of time to show you something that's pretty clean and pretty basic so that it didn't confuse too many people. So I took, I did the takeoff from the drawing to this worksheet. And then once I put my finishes in this worksheet, then I actually took it to visual impression. So here's what was in the drawing. These are the finishes that I selected inside of worksheet, and it pulled those those finishes right into visual impression. So once I'm in visual impression, what can I do? There's 3 activities that you basically work with in visual impression. One is materials, one is your room, and one is presentation. Materials is all about what's either on the furniture or within the room itself. So as an example here, I can click on the floor and I can go to materials. Once I go to materials, I have defaults that are available for wood, carpet. There's even tile, stone, and granite in here. So if I just wanted to change this to a basic carpet, I simply click on it. Okay, that's all I do. Oh, there's some wild ones in here. So let's just go to this, to the wall. Let's click on the wall. Once we select a wall, I have some different options here under different colorways. What's nice is if I need different text, if I have textured walls or I have an accent wall or whatever, I can simply uncheck apply to all walls and it will take care of that for me. You have a ceiling. When I click on the ceiling, I can either put a color on it or I can actually put a texture on it. So if I have some sort of suspended ceiling, I can certainly do that. Let me click off of it for just a minute here so you can see that it's up there. Let me see. What else can I do here for you? Furniture. Furniture's in here the way that it was out of worksheet. But if I wanted to come in here and actually kind of play with colors, maybe I don't want this, I can certainly go in here and change finishes. And these are the same finishes that you're choosing inside a worksheet. So the nice thing is if I came in here and I change these and I hit this little apply button, it would actually apply any of the furniture finish changes back to the worksheet that I launched into worksheet with, or into visual impression with. So room, let's look at room for a minute. Room is all about the architecture. As you'll notice, it didn't pull in anything from the drawing. It simply takes the furniture and puts it in the middle of the room. What you're to do here is imply architecture. So you can resize the room. You could do things like insert doors. I can insert windows. I can put in columns and posts and partition walls. So it allows me everything to imply the architecture. I can also put my own lights in, but I can tell you visual impression is designed to be quick and easy for someone who has never done a rendering before. So we are going to handle 98% of the lighting for you. Okay, I can add fixtures. I can also add extras. So if I want to add plants and artwork and different images in the artwork, I can do all of that within the room activity. So just let me go back to my 3D view. So let's, a couple things here. If I wanted to do like a hidden line of this, I would actually just click on the HL and I can take a picture. SQ is your working mode. So as you're making changes in here, you always want to be working in SQ. Otherwise, if you're working in HQ, every time you make a change, it's actually going to want to render. So let's come in here and remember I said we do light control. So I'm just going to take this little bar and slide it over to lighten this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. There is an HQ mode. It works fairly quickly. We're talking minutes, a few minutes, not hours or whatever to actually render anything. What What the HQ Plus does is it takes the shadows that you see in the room right now and it basically softens them. So they're the ones that are in here are very, very sharp and pointed, I guess, and that's not typically how the eye would see that shadow. So the HQ Plus is going to be would typically be your final render. So once that rendering is done, we're going to go ahead and take a snapshot. Okay. So a couple things here. Presentation. Presentation is all about taking everything that you've been working with within visual impression and putting it together for a presentation. I want to, so I can update all and capture all new. I can go in and update all images to be able to include them as part of my presentation. So how am I going to do that? Let's take a look at this first snapshot, the final rendering that we took. Let's go ahead and left click on that, and I'm going to drag and drop it into something that we're probably all familiar with, but you guys decide what you want to use for your presentation. I can bring this into something like PowerPoint. Simply go in and then just use whatever you know in PowerPoint or Prezi, whatever tool that it is that you want to use to be able to do to put together your presentation. So if I want to use like this chair in there, okay, drag and drop. There's nothing in visual impression that lets you print a presentation. It's really all about how you guys set yourself apart from your competition through your presentations. So I do have an example with a little more in it, I guess. So this is another one that I had done for a different company, but just kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. So there you have it. To be able to deliver precise and complete projects, Cap Complete is a tool that can do that for you. You're able to take it from the design process using smart, intelligent parts. You're able then to take that drawing into worksheet to count, consolidate for pricing, to choose finishes, to be able to then put it into a proposal to present to the customer. And then you can also take that worksheet right into visual impression where you can put a very nice quality rendering together and actually make that part of your presentation. If you need any more information, you can go to 2020spaces.com or you can reach our inside sales group at 1-800-227-0038.